GM. Good morning, degens. What is going on? Good morning, free market.
Hey now.
What the shit is happening, my man?
So last night was our first lemon sesh. All right. Now this is a little naughty. Please don't tell anyone. But we had a bit of a lemon rippler last night. The lemon ripper sesh, where many famous lemon were up there having a good old cannabis smoke sesh. It was fun.
There you go. That doesn't sound very wholesome.
Yeah. Well,
you're a little quiet. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know. Maybe I moved away from your mic.
I moved away while I was coughing. I don't want to cough through. Am I still quiet?
A little bit. I don't know. Maybe the chat can let me know. I don't know. I can hear you. I understand you. It's all good.
Yeah.
Now you're not very loud.
No, definitely not. Hi, everybody. Can everyone in the audience hear me?
Yeah, you're good now. That's at least 92% better than it was 20 seconds ago.
Damn, I'm still not 100. Got
all
this good equipment.
We're never 100. That's why we grow. I don't know. I'm just being cheesy as fuck. Look at all these GMs. I love it. God, gets me going. Love that music. Gets me going. I almost missed it. I was running around trying to find a shirt to put on.
Seems to be a bit of a crisis in the lithium market. Speaking of GM. Well, you said GM. My mind started to go. Why did the president mention General Motors and Ford when he talked about our electric vehicle capacity increasing in the United States? He left out one company out of that talk that was very interesting to me.
Does it start with a T and end with an Esla?
It does. In fact, the CEO of that company may have made that exact comment on the president's thread when that tweet was made. And it would, I am actually R2 knows I am a contrarian. Early last year, I was a sell Tesla buy Ford type of person. Not that I am against Tesla, what it stands for, or the greatness that is Elon Musk. It was more of a market call on how things were priced, right? If you looked at Tesla's market cap, it was essentially saying that every other car company is trading at a loss and Tesla has all the car business in the world. I believe in Tesla, but that was a little off. And if you see, man, Americans love that Ford electric pickup truck. That thing, they can't keep that thing in stock. It's very cool.
Yes. And you know what? Actually, Tesla is now turning into like a profit machine, aren't they? Like, didn't that switch just flip? And
well, isn't it ironic too? When Amazon finally turned profitable, they were sold off as well. It's one of these things where the entire market yells at you to be profitable for 10 years. And then the moment you do it, it's sell the news, right? Like, this is always how markets are. People think there's this like gigantic seminal event, the flipping. All we heard about from Amazon for 15 years was they don't make a profit. How can this stock go up with it? People would show their price to earnings ratio and it would be infinity because they just never made any profit. But Amazon always had the ability to turn on that switch. They were purposely growing revenue and market share. And obviously for them, that was the right move. I love, my grandfather. We're really going back here. My grandfather was a huge GM versus Ford guy. Right? If you guys don't know this battle that goes on here in the U.S.
GM versus Ford was like the original Democrats versus Republicans, I think.
Yankees, Red Sox, the whole thing. Yeah. And people who don't like Ford call them fix or repair daily or found on road. Exactly. Dead, very, very common reframe. My grandfather was very anti-Ford, and that's actually how I grew up. And then when I lived in Alaska for 6 months, I actually was given a this thing was cherry as fuck. A 1992 F-250 Ford pickup with the extent. No. Oh,
sorry.
I was much. This was just a car that I was using on the island. It's Kodiak Island, it's very difficult to get a car to. So you're either going to rent something that's there, borrow something that's there, or spend a shit ton of money getting a car there on a ferry.
Yes.
So whatever. I was using this guy's F2, and boy, the interior, everything spoke to. I became a Ford fan. I didn't even care about what. I'm not a mechanic. What am I going to fucking analyze whether the motor in GM is bad? I'll take it to the mechanic if something goes wrong. But I fell in love with Ford pickup trucks. I just got to admit that. And my whole life, it was antithesis of what you did.
My first car,
two-tone, Kyle, the two-tone. Oh, baby.
My first car was a 1986 Cutlass Classic.
That's so classic. That is so classic, like a Cutlass. Jesus.
In typical early to mid 2000s fashion, I put a sound system in there that was worth at least 10 times the car value.
Wow.
and yeah, it was it was like couches and stuff like that. It was in there. It was amazing. I wouldn't have been able to maintain it, but I kind of still wish I had it, although I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Listen to this crazy. I just sent half an ETH over to Polygon.
You what now?
Yeah, I sent ETH over to Polygon. I got to buy training dummies and Zug because I decided to stop sitting around and waiting. I want to start really taking advantage of this game, so I got to buy that faux wood paneling, baby. Oof.
Yes.
Gotta love it.
Nostalgia.
Maybe you should just the NFT stuff. What do you think?
No, let's keep talking about cars. Now, the morning GM show sponsored by General Motors.
Yeah.
All right. You could do a drum roll if you want. GM degens, and welcome back to the AM show, hosted live on YouTube and Twitch TV. It is February the 3rd of 2022, and I want to say we have an exciting show for you. We do. We have lots of great stuff to talk about, but honestly, it's just all these delays just keep throwing a wrench in kind of our plan for the show for the week. We thought this was going to be great. Monday, there's going to be all these drops. We could spend some time dissecting them a little bit on the show. What happened with Cool Pets? What happened with Pixlverse? What happened with Raid Party? There's some of that. There's definitely some interesting topics, but it's just not gone down yet as planned. And here we are talking about delays again. Yesterday was a little weird. It felt like maybe some of the volume slowed down just a little bit. Gas was typically pretty high all day, and we saw some of our beloved projects floors depress a little bit, or if you're a Zuki, depress quite a bit. But here we are, and I think that we still got a lot of wind left in the sails, especially once we kind of re-hit the ground running with these drops. Free Market, how was your Wednesday?
My Wednesday was fabulous. I'm recalling the exact quote from the show. If you don't sell your Azuki at 17 here, you have to have your head checked.
Yeah.
That was definitely an exact quote from the morning show.
We're not doing that to say I told you so. In all
it's
honesty,
not I told you so. I want everyone to learn what these cycles look like, because this is a very interesting period we're in right now. I do believe you're seeing the waifu meta start to cool off. And again, that is not that meta is dead, right? I think a lot of these trends are certainly the direction the entire macro market is moving in a large way. But just as we saw, for lack of a better term, and I really do hate the way people label this, but the cute meta, which we saw early on with Alien Friends, Cool Mans, Little Lemon Friends, and then all the derivatives trying to imitate them. That obviously had its blow off top 3 weeks ago on a Saturday, cooled off. But, you look at all those floors. If you got in on those mints, you're still happy as a pig in shit. They're all very, very comfortably, well above what anyone paid for mint. Even during their pullbacks, there has been so slow accumulation in all of those collections. The moment volume comes back into any of those, I think they'll easily get above their old all-time highs. But we all know we shifted into a simp / waifu / anime meta. And now that has had its 2 or 3 weeks. I think, yes, that day that Azuki started hitting 17. Again, it's not that we don't like this project. It's not that it doesn't have this potential over time. It was too fast. There's no justification. There's no universe in the world. What that phrase made no sense. There is no place where an Azuki was 17 ETH this quick with being nowhere near any type of roadmap being enacted. And look, we tend to talk about how roadmaps don't really mean anything. But in the case of a company that has now raised upwards of $50 million, and we know they have a very rich, ambitious roadmap that we actually believe they can execute. This isn't like a small team where you wonder. Yes, the roadmap matters. And yes, if we're going to talk about values of 15, 20, or 30 ETH, the roadmap matters, just like with Clonex. I mean, if Nike wasn't there, you think they'd be sitting where they're sitting right now?
Correct. No. I agree. Well, and there's a couple of ways to look at this too, right? As that price starts to get really high up, it crosses the 10 ETH threshold, then the 15 ETH threshold. The pool of people that can legitimately afford this without overextending themselves gets smaller and smaller and smaller very quickly, actually, right? Like,
yep.
You are crossing into a threshold where this is a substantial amount of money. On the flip side of it, the pool of people that 17 ETH or 15 ETH or even 10 ETH, what that amount of money means to them starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And if you've overextended yourself and you start to see the floor start to pull back, well, there's probably a good chance that there's going to be a race to exit that before you really start to feel the burn. And that's just, that's that you start to climb the mountain up on these up to these like really, really high levels, and it starts getting thinner and thinner and thinner, right? And it takes so much actual money to prop floors up on that. And sure, it will get to that point again. I don't deny that in maybe a month's time or a year's time or whenever that ends up happening, that we'll be talking about Azuki at 20 ETH. And that's fine. I think it's a great project, and I think it will get to that point. But here it is sitting at 12 ETH floor. And if you asked us last week, we said it wouldn't have gotten over 10. So it's not all about the fact that it is or isn't happening, or it's I told you so. It's just the fact that like that was a massive run up. I mean, I woke up with Azuki, or I went to bed with Azuki sitting at 9 ETH and woke up with it at 16.5, right? Like, it's ungodly amounts of money, and you're starting to stop thinking about it's 2xing, and you're starting to think that each one of these are going up by $50,000 or $25,000, right? It's you're kind of talking about a different echelon. It's not the same jump as going from 0.1 ETH to 0.2 ETH.
Yeah, I mean, it's a combo. When people delist and there's a large sales volume, it goes very fast, a lot faster than even you will imagine. But remember, those people delisting are just waiting to see where the floor goes so they could jump back in and relist. And sure, some lucky ones are going to list at the top, but then everyone else starts chasing that price down, and that's what you're seeing right now. So it's again, we love Azuki. I'm pretty bullish on its long-term prospects. It seemed to get ahead of itself the other week. Now, I think the most heartening thing is what happened when the cute meta cooled off. Did we die? Did we go away? No, we transferred right into the new meta. And you know what? I think that's going to happen right now with P2E gaming. Now, unfortunately, we've had what was supposed to be, build is the biggest week for NFT mints in a while. Has been plagued by delays, but maybe that's a good thing. It gave the anime meta the runway to blow off. It's cooling off now. And again, just like I said about the cute meta, if you got Azuki at mint, you're certainly not angry at a 12 ETH floor. I mean, whatever. You're
not at all, right?
Right. You're in it for the long haul.
But that's the hard thing. Once it crosses into that next level, it's hard to you shift from like, oh my God, I'm up $58,000 to even if you held through it to, oh my God, I just lost $15,000. You didn't lose or gain anything until you sold it, right?
Right. It's hard.
That's that mentality. Yeah.
I mean, I remember going through it with Kaiju. It got up to 7 ETH. I was certainly caught up in the hype. I was blinded by the my bias. I thought it was going to go to 10. And shit, when it started to fall to 5, 4, and 3, I felt like I had lost that money when, just like R2 said, I never sold it. So, it's just one of those things. So,
Yeah, you got it. Let's just get into the crypto market and the news real quickly, and we'll get back into that. I think we actually just crushed our Azuki segment right there, which I'm a-okay with. But I see somebody mentioning cat bricks. I have that queued up too because it is an interesting story now. But yes, crypto. I think we saw it run up. Where's the button I'm supposed to? Yeah, right over there. Yes, anyways, the crypto market definitely cooled off a little bit. There was some speculation that maybe it was in correlation with some of the traditional markets. Obviously, we've got some news in the global scene about troops being moved around and deployed, and maybe some borders being contested and whatnot. And that obviously can sometimes shake up traditional markets. I also kind of agree with the sentiment that if you actually were looking at the charts and doing a little bit of TA, we were kind of testing a couple of resistance levels on the charts and failed to break through them too. I think that is maybe going hand in hand. Maybe you could argue that that's why they didn't break through, as people start to maybe want to hoard some cash and put it into stable coins or maybe directly into their bank. But we were testing 2,800 quite a bit, and Bitcoin was testing that 39,000 mark for a little bit. It has pulled back. I mean, we're talking 3%, nothing like the Facebook drop that we're probably going to touch on real quick. But yeah, what's your take on this?
Well, this is a macro situation again. We had jobless claims come in. I want to talk about, I don't even care what the jobless claims said. Remember, the market is going to spin the news to its narrative, not the other way around. The tail wags the dog. So the market mechanically sets up for a move. News happens, and then whichever way the market moves, the media will spin the news in that direction. So often we will get what looks like a good jobs number, and the market will do the opposite of what people think. And everyone goes, oh, how does that make any sense? Well, the news will just go, oh, the jobs number was too good, now the Fed may think about raising. But if the market was set up to go up, they'll just say, oh, we beat the jobs number, everything's great, the economy is going good. So that's how you could take the same data point and present it in two ways depending on what the market does. Now, the market had just rallied huge off this was a V-shaped bounce off of a very, very anxious, depressed bottom that captured the entire investing complex. All assets were down. Everybody, the amount of we're going to zero, not just in crypto, but also in stocks, was very prevalent. Sentiment was completely reset and out of bounds, and we V-bounced off of that. Now, we ran into technical resistance. So whatever the news is today, they're going to spin it to whatever pullback is there. I've said this, and I'm going to keep saying it just so people know where I am. I'm positioned like the bottom is in, but the chart is not fixed yet. The volatility is not over, and this is the first pullback we are getting after the V-shaped recovery off of the lows. While I'm still positioned like the bottom is in, we always react to reality. We don't assume our predictions are always correct. And if something changes in markets, I will tell you on this show, and I'll explain to you how I've positioned for the change.
I've been neglecting my traditional portfolio, but it was looking pretty messy there for a little bit. Fortunately,
well, last week, I talk about being a contrarian all the time. I had rotated into old man stocks, value stocks, energy, old automakers, failing retailers, these things that don't make a lot of sense to the new investing class. Last week, I started to buy things like Square. Okay, Square, the new almost Web3 facing payment company started by Jack, former CEO of Twitter. That had been basically down 50% in this drawdown. And now I'm starting to look at those things. Again, the things that people are scared to buy because they're all going to zero. This is how I think about markets. And
yes, the whole world is going to zero, and we can all buy on the way down.
And look, there was froth in these high beta names. ARK and Kathy's fund is down 50%. But guess what? That's when a smart trader starts to go, is it time to buy? People may even be saying that about Facebook this morning, which I know we're going to touch on very briefly now because it is the story.
Let's touch on it now. Yeah. I mean, Meta, formerly Facebook.
Yeah, sorry, Meta.
Yeah, no, get it right, man. Come on. No, Meta is going through some stuff right now. It shed about $200 billion of market cap
More than one
overnight.
Ethereum network. More than one entire Ethereum network was shed from the market cap of Facebook.
So
yesterday.
Is that Facebook overvalued, Ethereum undervalued, or
honestly, and I'm not even saying this jokingly, this is why I find Ethereum again, Ether and the Ethereum network are different. You cannot value Ether based on the transactional value on the Ethereum network. Ether's price is based on the demand for the native currency relative to the activity going on the Ethereum network. So just because trillions are transacted on Ethereum does not automatically mean Ether should be worth trillions. That said, Ether at 107 that said, Ether at 150 billion right now is a crime. It is remarkably undervalued when you see a company like Meta shed that much on a bad report. I mean, it is, these are obvious things.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
300 billion for ETH, but yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
down
it's
to like 180.
No,
we're down to 180 at the lows.
Maybe. I think
we got close to it, right?
That would be I mean, ETH would have to be at about 1,300 to be in that.
We did not get close to it. Never mind.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It wasn't too long ago that ETH was sub 100 billion too. So it's not. I mean, time frames are weird, right? It feels like just yesterday that you could have bought ETH at $100, but and more in reality, it was actually just over a year ago, which was still a great buy. But yeah, they're tumbling. I mean, there's some speculation that it's based on largely due to its bumbling Web3 initiatives. Facebook had a more important stat come out yesterday, and that was that for the first time in its 18-year history, this is an 18-year trend, almost 2 decades, they dropped in daily active users. This maybe doesn't sound dramatic, but when an 18-year trend gets broken, it can be scary because now you start to think like, where can this go beyond what they're doing? And do people believe in their Web3 shift? Well, most platforms, their goal and the reason why they don't churn a profit is because they are trying to, capture as many verticals as possible, increase their footprint as much as possible, and onboard as many new people into their ecosystem as possible. Facebook is hitting a point where they've almost onboarded everybody on Earth. Right. And that's not an over exaggeration. Like almost everybody on Earth has had or has a Facebook account. At least those that have access to the internet. And that is a wild statistic. As I said before on the show, the biggest source of their churn is death. And, pandemics aren't great for that either. But, it almost feels like the top is in for Facebook just because of those reasons. And now Facebook knows this. They've seen the writing on the wall. That's why they want to capture as much data and shift into new things, because they really just have to. They're, it's the natural progression of their business, because if they don't, it can't do much more. And that's kind of my feeling towards it. Like, I think people just felt that kind of the Facebook top was in, or the Meta top.
And understand, Facebook largely defined this new metric, right? Because if you go back to markets, even in the traditional .com bubble, when they weren't showing any revenue, they would talk about unique website hits, like the way you would sell something like pets.com back during the first Wall Street bubble, even though it had no revenue, was, unique website hits. That was a big metric back then. Then it changed to DAUs, right? Daily active users. And you see this across any social media facing stock, that revenue does not matter. Daily active user growth matters. And Facebook certainly defined this, as since they came on the market, they've just been a juggernaut, right? Facebook actually fell a lot the first year they were on the market, as what was vexing them was mobile. Remember, this was a desktop-facing website. people use this on their computers at school, in college. I remember I used it to talk to girls. Like that's what it was back then. It was just this cool place where all the cool kids were hanging, and that was where it was. Now, they've experienced, as R2 said, literal daily active user growth ever since then. Now, Apple experienced something similar in hardware growth. And the first year they saw a miss on hardware growth, that stock tanked 50% as well. I mean, nobody is immune to this. Now, once a company reaches its kind of max user base where there's really only churn or very, very small growth on a year-over-year basis, there's two things a company can do. It can cut costs and extract value. So now I don't Facebook is not dead. It's not gone. It's not going anywhere, but its strategies are changing. And certainly I am not going, their attempts at being relevant in the metaverse are practically laughable with what we've seen in the public arena. I don't know exactly what they're planning behind the scenes. Zuckerberg is a fucking genius. You should not discount what this kid is doing behind closed doors, nor should we discount the fact that they own Oculus, which, we know there's rumors of Apple releasing a headset, but for now, this is a very, very, very popular thing that I'm seeing people who don't even play video games talk about. I got an Oculus. This is an experience people want to feel and try, often for the first time. Facebook isn't going away. Damn it, I'm getting myself fucking bullish. Facebook isn't going away. I really do have a bias against. I have a bias against Zuckerberg and Facebook, but I'm a market-minded person. I understand how these companies work. And when I hear people saying, Facebook is dead, I'm an instant contrarian. I start to go, okay, let me find the reasons to buy this thing. But certainly, Facebook isn't going away. The traditional metrics in which we based social media growth in general, I think, are changing. Why is Zuckerberg threatened by the metaverse? Because NFTs are the new social network. Discord is where these social networks are. Discord is the Amazon Web Services of the metaverse.
And Discord is starting to transcend, it started with gaming, and that was basically the focus. It was a gamer platform to coordinate and collaborate. Stocks and crypto moved in there. Now NFTs are in there too. And, an obscene amount of dollar value kind of gets transacted in a way through Discord. That's crazy. But if you start talking to people outside of both of those realms, they are starting to use Discord for school projects, team meetings. It really is starting to capture some of Slack's market share and whatnot too. But yeah, I mean, they are feeling the heat from all of those angles for sure. But very, very, very interesting. And I love how these articles just picked like the strangest pictures of Mark Zuckerberg. Like I feel so uncomfortable staring at this screen.
I love how you think it's the strangest pictures of Mark Zuckerberg, and that's not just how he looks. No, R2. This is the meme is real, brother. This guy is robot incarnate. I am thoroughly convinced he is from another planet, and I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. We embrace all aliens here, legal or not.
Okay, moving on. Disney is on the lookout for NFT experts. A number of postings on Disney's career website indicate that the entertainment giant is looking for fresh talent to work on NFTs. You'll remember that we spoke about Bob Iger yesterday or the day before on this show, former CEO of Disney, very bullish on NFTs and the metaverse. And now Disney is on the lookout for fresh talent. A total of 4 jobs on the company's career website mention NFTs. These positions are Director, Sales and Digital Marketing, Culture Trend Marketing Manager, Manager of Business Development, and ESPN Business Development and Innovation. This is really fascinating stuff. And, I really do think that Disney is probably the most all-encompassing brand to have its own metaverse experience, just based on the IP that all, are under its umbrella. Not to sing a Rihanna song there, but there you go. All of these companies are angling towards the metaverse. It is happening. And I mean, it behooves them to start bringing people onto the payroll and start developing it, because at the end of the day, even if they're paying each one of these jobs $250,000 a year to start working on stuff or start fleshing out some ideas and some strategy, if the metaverse goes to zero and it ends up not being a thing, Disney didn't it didn't lose anything. This is a drop in the bucket to them. And this is going to be very exciting for somebody. I don't know, maybe some Alpha Mint members want to apply for that job. Who knows?
Well, people ask me this often. How early are we? You know how early we are, R2?
How early are we?
Disney hasn't even hired the first people they're going to fire for fucking up their first NFT drop yet. So, all right, that we're not even to the point where Disney hired the right people. They're still hiring those first idiots that are going to fuck up whatever Polygon drop they conceive, and the website front end doesn't work, and people complain, and there's thousands, if not millions, of bad comments because of it. We haven't even gotten through those people yet. You're early. That's how early you are, too.
I'm early. We made it.
We're early.
Wag me.
Yeah, Disney, we say, eh? Hollow, we love
Hologram,
you.
How do you feel about it?
We love you, Hollow. How do you feel? It's Florida AM meetup. We have things to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's keep this train going. Gamestop, Immutable X, plot Ethereum gaming NFT marketplace, $100 million fund. I don't know how deep we need to go on this. I feel like I'm just saying this every day, which is fine because it's in the news every day. But again, it is coming, and GameStop continues to readjust their business model, their game plan, and the direction of their company. And I think very, very bullish ways.
Strange world when I'm more bullish on GameStop and Radio Shack than Facebook and Amazon. But here we are. We are.
That is a funny thing to say, but I mean, if you're looking for upside, it's got to be somewhat true.
I'm a risk-reward trader. A lot of my shit doesn't pan out. I say some weird things sometimes, but you know what? I don't need all of them to pan out because we're going for outsized returns here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. You have a lot more upside in games. I don't even know what that whole thing last year was insane.
Yeah, I know. GameStop's a weird example because of the short selling. The valuation is a little wacky, but obviously a little, yeah. But obviously, relative to one of the largest market caps in the world, like Amazon, if theoretically GameStop could build a viable marketplace, you could see them having a larger market cap right now based on the revenues they have. This is
Amazon's one that we don't talk about a lot, but I mean, they really could just flip a switch and onboard every single Prime user into NFTs. Like, it's crazy,
I don't think people talk about how much power this company has. Do you understand every outage we ever experience on OpenSea is because of Amazon? Now, whether it's AWS's fault or not, that's where OpenSea kicks the blame. So the advertising is there. We know that's where they are located, is at least a large portion of their, front end is on Amazon Web Services. So Amazon is like the gatekeeper of the internet, for lack of a better term, of Web 2, I would say. These are the gatekeepers of Web 2. And any company that has to, walk that fine line and have a Web 2 presence for their Web 3 product, they're using Amazon.
Yeah. It is incredible. I think one of the things that most people don't actually understand about Amazon is that the majority of their revenue doesn't actually come from their Amazon marketplace, and it's actually web services. That is the key driver.
They literally have that business as a marketing tool. Like, they take losses on their retail products so that the word Amazon permeates your life. They have used it to grow themselves into one of the largest companies in the world by taking a loss on it just to develop Amazon Web Services, which is the crown jewel of this company.
Yes. Yep. I see you degens talking about this. I already had it queued up, but I was saving it to show up on the screen. Bored Ape creator seeks funding from Andreessen Horowitz at a $5 billion valuation. We did talk about this last week and how that was coming. Yuga Labs, the startup behind the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT collection, is in financing talks with the investment firm Andreessen Horowitz. You guys were saying, you know, let me find it here. You guys are talking a lot. Yeah, the market cap from Basie is just the floor price from the total collections is over 4 billion. You guys were talking about the revenue streams and whatnot, not to be underestimated. When Bored Apes take a 5% cut of every transaction that the Bored Ape of Bored Ape holders, they are making a cool 15,000 US, something in that ballpark.
Yeah, and understand that's the only revenue that a company like Andreessen Horowitz can base it on. Yuga Labs owns like 11 apes. Like, this company didn't stack apes; they sold them all. Right, that $4 billion valuation is spread out amongst its investors. There has no bearing on what Andreessen Horowitz would value this company as. This is impressive because they're valuing Yuga Labs on its potential to leverage that revenue they're taking.
Yes.
And I agree with it. I'm very, but you would think, if you were valuing the assets as well and trying to come up with some sort of like TVA for it, I would certainly, easily 10 billion, of course, when you just do the math, but given the potential, I'd say 15 to 20 with this.
Yeah. And I mean,
it's mind blowing.
The natural angle is to add up these NFTs and look for a market cap, or think of these NFTs as some kind of share in the company, which, I don't think is the greatest way to look at it. What you're trying to look at is the value of the IP. And sure, the Bored Ape holders own the rights to their own Bored Apes. And we saw that hilarious meme going around on Twitter about, guys, I just got contacted by the NFL, and there's that fake, Roger Goodell thing. I saw people posting that about
we're gonna make it
and all
signed.
Of that
we're
stuff.
Gonna make it Roger Goodell.
It was very funny, but there is value in the fact that Steph Curry is part of this club. There is value in the fact that Justin Bieber is part of this club, that Serena Williams and Paris Hilton and Jimmy Fallon are part of this club. And it kind of transcends the revenue that they're generating just on this alone. And as Free Market said, it is a way that they are leveraging the brand name Yuga Labs into, an upper echelon of culture and brand recognition. If the success of Bored Apes and Mutant Apes and Bored Ape Kennel Club is any indication of where Yuga Labs is going and their decision-making process and their track record of success, I have to believe that $5 billion valuation at the moment seems like a steal if you're betting on future value.
Yeah, I don't think it would be responsible to try to guess what a proper valuation is potential-wise, because we don't know what Gaio Siri and Yuga Labs has cooked up on the roadmap except for Ape. And we know Ape is going to be big, but Ape is going to be launching into what will be bearish seasonality. I talk about seasonality a lot, and NFTs tend to rally from January through March, then they tend to cool off from April through May, and then they rally again from June through September, and then they tend to cool off again from October to December. Now, this is a different market than it was. We will never see volumes go away like we did before last year happen. There will always be pumps. There will always be plays. There will always
old
be
highs are new lows for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I am wondering about the timing of unless Ape launches here in the next week or two. Let's say it launched at the end of February. March is when things start to get sticky. Okay. And you're likely going to see the seasonal effect of both the fact that we've rallied so much in 3 months, that has to have a little mean reversion, combined with people needing money for taxes. So those two things tend to cause bearish seasonality. Remember, Bored Ape Yacht Club launched in April last year during the teeth of this bear market. It was such a slow bear market. Some of us were forced to go to places like BitClout to find fun and action during that period. So, this is what I expected. We'll see when Ape launches, but I guess the overarching point is this company has unlimited potential. I mean, I could see them going to incredibly high market cap valuations. We just, we want to see them execute on this roadmap. I do think if you are ever going to take a bearish stance on Bored Ape Yacht Club, it's the better they do, the better they have to execute. You always have to outperform yourself when you're doing this well, or, Eventually, there's nothing you can announce that will help you get over that hurdle, and that'll happen eventually with Bored Ape Yacht. It won't be the end, but it'll be the Pico. What do they call it? The Pico top, the short
Pico de Gallo. You said the bit clout word, and we've got the bit clout homies all riled up. Mm-hmm. It's all good. Shout out to you, you degens, all moved on. I think. If you were talking about daily active users, that's probably not going to be a pretty picture. Bored Apes, $5 billion. I think undervalued. We'll see where that goes. Okay, let's move into the rest of the market. Again, I said at the beginning of the show, this week has been full of delays. Gas has been a little bit high. I think it's a little bit of, some people are blaming some other people, or this is the reason, that's the reason. Not really sure. I'm not going to be the one that gets to the bottom of this, but we had the Sappy Seals project, PixlPets. Great looking project. Pixelverse is a great looking game metaverse type product that they have, and they're putting out. Really kind of caught me by surprise because it, I guess, stayed off my radar for a while. Sappy Seals doing well, 1.4 ETH floor, but PixelPets got delayed. Now, PixelPets was saying that they were delaying to not get into a gas war with the Cool Pets drop. Now, the Cool Pets drop is, spread out over 24 hours, and I think everybody in that allow list was trying to avoid a gas war. So based on the distance between when the cool cats could actually mint their cool pets and when the actual allow list people get to, I mean, it really has cooled the volume off, and now there's no rush to be minting your cool pets if you're on the allow list. But PixelPets kind of took it on themselves to throw it out there that they didn't want to get into a gas war with them. But PixelPets is an allow list project too. And there's some, it's very strange. It really does just feel like they had some internal issues going on. They couldn't get them sorted out, and they decided to use PixelPets as the the straw man, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's just been a week of delays for what felt like it was going to be a transition from, as I said earlier, the anime meta into the P2E meta. And these are only short-term trends. I think all of these underlying niches that we're seeing are actually here to stay this year. They're all going to have subsequent runs. But it was remarkable how many high-profile drops we were looking forward to this week that are still delayed and we are waiting for, though it seems like Raid Party is pretty close to going here, and we are still waiting for a Cool Pets announcement. They said
there's 48 no hours yet, right?
Well, here's the best timeline I can give you, and let me quickly check the Discord in case there's been anything new, but I'll tell you as of... Oh, good. I see a new Cool Cats announcement. Give me a minute here. Okay. This was... oh, no, never mind. That was from a few days ago. So they said 48 hours on... I'm trying to look at the time here. They said 48 hours on February 1st in the afternoon. That would be
today.
Today in the afternoon, but we have had no updates. So that's all I'll say about that, right? Like, I would expect sometime now in the next hour or two them to announce that it's on. Like, they'll tell you a time a few hours before it happens. If we start to get to a point where they're not even announcing a time by noon or 1, it may be delayed again. We'll see. I mean, gas is great right now. And I don't think that's an issue. They're using a 721 and they removed the remuneration from the contract, which is the best gas saving optimization that devs are using recently. So I would expect gas to be literally negligible, under $30, even if Gwei is high on this contract. So let's see. We're hope. I am so eager to get my egg. I love these. I've talked about it before. I'm gonna go for a water pet. You see, it's. I've never played Pokemon, but they do say it's kind of like you get to choose what element your fighter is by collecting certain items. I'm going with water. And the reason is because it is the year of the tiger, but it's the year of the water tiger. So
okay,
I thought,
that seems
I
like a
thought
good
maybe
thesis.
I'll go with what the universe is saying, what the moon is telling me, and I'm gonna go with water. Yeah, air, fire, water, earth.
There was some interesting discussion because apparently when polled, people like almost by a large majority were going for fire, and then they were saying, well, does this switch the meta in terms of what you want to get, because fire are going to be so common that the other ones will be more rare, and then is that going to cause a redistribution of people moving into another one and playing this big game of rock paper scissors trying to figure out which one they want to be in?
I take the opposite view on this. I think rarity is relative, right? Something could have a 1 supply, but if nobody wants it, it's not very rare because no one gives a shit that it exists, right? But if something has a 10,000 supply and 10 million people want it, that's really rare because there is so much demand that 10,000 ends up being less than that 1 that nobody wants. So right now, based on every poll I've seen, Earth is going to be the rarest element. Now, I think the other thing people are discounting is this is a game.
But now that you said it on the show, it can't be. It's Schrodinger's.
Schrodinger's cat. No, but the other thing people are discounting, this is a game. I'm not sure you're just going to be able to like find any element food you want. And remember, this is a race to earn gold and milk. So people, if the only thing you could find is the earth element and it is your ticket to earning this utility token, eventually people are just going to say, well, I just got to go with what's available to me. I got to start earning this milk. So I don't even know. Yes, they've said you get to choose which element you want, but hey, maybe the fire items are rarer. Do we know whether finding the items that can make you a fire pet are more rare? I think there's a lot. There's so much. Hell yeah. Captain Planet shout out from Ziyao. I sing that song on such a regular basis. The Captain Planet theme song. That is a banger. Someone has to remix that for the club. We'd take that to new levels there too.
Perfect. Yeah, let's do it. Captain Planet theme song. I'm in. Chipper is asking, as a non-cat holder, how much ETH should I have for milk to play this game? I think the short answer is no clue. Maybe Free Market could provide
and
a
none.
Little bit more color.
Here's how. Okay, so here's how I would look at it. Now, if you are a big baller whale, buy as many eggs as you can, and then when the game launches, if you find out what the milk requirements are to do things, buy the milk off the market. If you were lucky enough to get on the allow list and you're deciding to not take the profit and you're going to go play the game instead, it gets very, very expensive over time if you're going to start throwing new money at one of these games. Okay, I'm doing it today with orcs, okay, because I am fortunate enough to. But if you have low liquidity, I would just let the game decide your fate. Leave it up to the game. Get in there, see what the game does. It's a game. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you'll start stacking crazy amounts of milk. But you're not going to have to buy milk, right? The whole point of these games is you're going to be able to earn it without having to buy it. If you had to go buy it, it wouldn't be very play to earn, okay? With orcs, they generate Zug passively, okay? The cool cats are going to generate Zug passively. We know that the pets will, I don't know if they're generating gold passively, but they will be able to earn gold without having to put anything into the game. Just by committing the actions in the game, you will earn gold somehow. And gold is a 1-for-1 exchange rate with milk. So if you don't own a cat, the way you acquire milk is by playing the game, earning that gold, and then switching it. I'm sure they'll even have an exchange app within the game, so you don't have to go to something like Uniswap to do it. But that'll be how it's done. I would certainly just try to earn it within the game, unless you are, unless you're going in here buying 5 pets and deciding to go really, really hard in this. If you are super liquid, like some people who are, getting 45 ETH Huxley robots here and there, I would consider hitting that LP, I would buy 45 ETH worth of milk and stake it right in the LP. Milk is going to be one of the most traded tokens on decentralized exchanges. Anybody who gets into that LP early is gonna fucking bank.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I like, and here's the thing, right? Like, there's so many dynamics about this game. You could play things so many different ways, and you got to really figure out how much you want to extend yourself. Just keep in mind that sometimes these things don't work out. And if the game is a bit of a flop, it drops very, very quickly. We've seen that a lot with these P2E games. I'm not saying that Cool Pets is going to do that, or PixlPets, or Raid Party, but I am just saying that, like, if things don't go according to plan and maybe they got some of the mechanics wrong, or there's an exploit in terms of generation of things and people can kind of, ruin the ecosystem by taking advantage of it, it gets a little dicey. So you really just have to figure out how much extension of your own liquidity or your own portfolio you want to put into one of these things and act accordingly. I would say the other thing that works very well for most people that do very well in these games is having a plan and sticking to it, right? If you are planning to play this hard for the long term, getting in early and performing the actions at the most optimal level that you can is going to play out pretty well for you. If you don't have the time commitment and you think that this is just a bit of a mad dash, then maybe do a minimal amount of actions, spend a minimal amount of gas, and plan for your exit. It really just depends on how much time, energy, and liquidity you're willing to spend on this. Because let's be honest, when you're on the ETH layer 1, the actions do get expensive. You do need to make sure that you have enough liquidity that you can execute your plan properly. You know what I mean?
And
if
this
you're
will be
halfway
on
through your plan and all of a sudden you realize that you can't spend any more on gas, well, you've probably missed both opportunities. So don't like my point would be, don't go all in and just hope that it plays out well for you, right?
Yeah.
That's how I would say it.
And 2 points here. One, Elaine asked, how much milk can a cat generate? So floor cats will generate 1,000 milk, and there are multipliers for rarities. I don't want to quote them because I forgot them, but it's not dramatic. I think the highest one was 1,700 or 1,500 ETH if you have one of the like very rare legendary cats. So that's how much the cats will passively generate. I don't think the pets passively generate anything. I think you have to earn it in the game. So that would be up to how much you play. And in regards to Cooltopia, that will be completely on the Polygon L2. Your assets exist on L1, but just like Orcs, all the gameplay will happen on L2. So since I have migrated,
right? I missed that.
Yes,
that's good.
Yes.
You know what? I mean, it's good.
Yeah, since I have migrated all my Orcs over to L2, I have spent about $2.50 in all my actions, whereas the cheapest to claim Zug since I started playing on L1 back in the day was about $24. So just to claim the Zug on L1, it cost me 5 times what every action I have ever done on L2 is. And that would be claiming Zug, sending them on raids, claiming my potions, training, all the actions that would have cost me between $50 and $150 on L1 have in total cost me less than $5, less than $2.50.
For sure. You know what? And for any of the poker degens out there, you got to look at gas as the rake when you're playing these games, right? Whether it's expensive or not. You can be a break-even poker player, but lose in the long run just because of those little bits that are being extracted from the ecosystem. You actually have to operate and optimize in a way that you are overcoming the gas fees to make a profit, right? And you got to, a lot of people, when they're talking about their trades or their buys and their sells, they'll say, oh, I bought this for 0.05 and I flipped it for 0.15 for a quick 3x. But, they neglect to say that they paid 0.03 in gas just to buy the NFT, right? And that affects your cost basis dramatically. And you'll see a lot of people flipping 3x, 4x, 2x often, and then eventually they'll say like I'm broke, right? Because you have to factor all of that in terms of your
wait
situation.
Are you saying profit isn't profit?
To some extent, yeah, kind of.
Yes.
You have to make sure that you are accounting for everything. A lot of people don't take the creator fee, the royalties, and the OpenSea fee into account too. if a project is taking a 10% haircut off of it and OpenSea is taking their 2.5%, you're losing 12.5% on the back end, and maybe you paid an extra 40% on the front end of the transaction, especially when you're dealing with these small priced projects. And in your mind, you're like, I'm 3xing all the time. Like, this is going to be amazing, but really, like, you're only getting gains of 40%, right?
How about this, R2? The meaningless platitude, profit is profit, has busted more traders than FOMO. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to fault somebody for exiting with a profit. Well, hold on. Let me just finish my thought here. Okay, because sometimes you got to build opportunity cost in there, right? And if you know that there's another project that you need to get into that you're very bullish on, it can be plus EV to take a small amount of profit to make sure that you can enter into this other one that you have a high expected value of participating in, right? Like, I think that that's an important element of it, and it has to be. But I mean, if you talk to any venture capitalist firm, they're spreading all of these bets around, and they're investing $50,000, $100,000 at a time, and maybe their total fund is like 10 million, $20 million. They're investing very, very small portions of it into a lot of them, because they know that at the end of the day, 80% of these, 90% of these companies that they put money into are only going to go to zero, or maybe even just a small return. Maybe it's only 2x. And it sounds weird to say, oh, it only doubled, right? But all of this risk that you're putting into the market, the ones that you win on have to be big winners to not only cover all of that, but to actually put you into another echelon of profit and then redistribute, right? And if you're not factoring gas in, if you're not factoring in royalties and trading fees and all of these other things into it, you're not giving yourself the full picture, because it's so easy to just tell yourself, I made 3x on this, like I'm winning, right? You gotta factor it all in. Make a spreadsheet and track all of that stuff. Every time you do an action on one of these games and it's costing you 0.02, 0.02, 0.03, 0.01, that shit adds up really quickly, and it is coming out of your the multiplier that you think you're making, right? And you have to look at the full picture. So profit is profit. Like, yeah, sure, technically it is profit, but you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not being honest with yourself, right? And that was one of the things that, like, when I was playing poker like semi full time, I always had one person that I was honest with. If I lost $500 or $1,000, I would tell them that. If I won 2,500, I would tell them that, and I would tell them exact numbers, because the second that you start lying to yourself about it, you get this skewed vision of what's actually going on, and you stop making the right decisions.
No question. And shout out to our resident Cool Cat Maxi Shubs, who has confirmed you're not going to need anything. If you have your pet, you just need to quest, and that's how you can earn the underlying utility token gold, which is a 1-for-1 conversion with milk. So yes, you don't need to do anything if you have your pet except play the game.
There you go. Boom. Great conversation, though. And I mean, I'm looking forward to these things finally dropping. It looks like PixlPets is going to go live tomorrow. I'm just going to double check the time so that I get it right for you guys when I'm talking about it. February 4th, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern is the pre-sale. February 5th, 5:30 p.m. Eastern is the public sale. The pre-sale is going down for 0.088 and public is 0.12. I think those are very reasonable prices for this project. Another kind of trend that we're seeing is very unreasonable prices for projects now, and maybe we're kind of getting a little toppy in the mint market too, as people are trying to extract max value. One of the projects that I saw pop up, and it is interesting because there might be something behind this, but is this Beans NFT by Dumb Ways to Die. Okay, so this is minting today. Let me double check the time and get some of the official information for you. I had it in the back of my mind and I forgot it. But Beans is minting at 12 p.m. Eastern. The supply is 10,000, and this is for the presale. And the mint price is 0.3 ETH. I think this is a big ask. Okay, if you want the bull case on this project, it is by a game developer that produced Dumb Ways to Die, which is a mobile game that has 50 million downloads, and then it has some sequels that have in the 5 to 10 million download range. So not nothing. They have a large following on Facebook, but they always tout these large followings. And if you look at it, they haven't posted in almost a year there. And then this is their website. I mean, they have their own sort of unique style. I think we've seen this done a whole bunch, but you know, if you're a fan of that game and you believe in this IP and this franchise, and maybe you think that this developer has a good track record of success, it's there. But I just think 0.3 is a pretty crazy entrance price for a project that has not really, or for a team that has not really done anything in the Web3 space. So yeah, I feel like we're getting a little ahead of ourselves in terms of some of these mint prices. We're seeing 0.25 a lot, 0.3, 0.4. I don't knock Cool Pets for being 0.5, but you know, some of these other projects that are just, I don't know, they just seem to be thrown down and maybe low effort. We're getting, you know, I don't know. I don't even know if you've seen this free market, but what is your first impression of me saying these things?
It looks terrible, and I would mint it. I don't know that they may be the shit. I don't know this game. I don't know this team. I don't. This looks stupid to me. Now, I you know, this could go to 10 ETH. I have no idea. This seems to be a known entity, but I don't know anything about it, so I don't want to give color on something I haven't heard of. We love P2E. If we research this and I think there's something there, I will say something. But certainly 0.3 is a little crazy. I will say this too.
They don't have a P2E in their roadmap, though. They've just developed.
Oh, they don't use that? It's just the pictures?
Oh, MMO metaverse coming soon. Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, again, these to me, immediately, if I saw these, I was like, oh, yeah, 0.02 degen play. I'm in.
Right. I mean, I've talked often about how you can use mint prices to gauge what part of the cycle we're in, and I just think, given how early we started to see the 0.1, 0.2, and 0.3 mints this time, our mecca is going to come at like 0.5. I think that there's going to be some very hype project that decides, and I'm not talking about a Cool Pets, which is a proven track record and an automatic cook for anyone who pays. I'm talking about some new project out of the blue that becomes the hypest thing on the block everybody must have, and then they decide to mint at 0.5.
Well, and this is a new project, and most of their a new to Web3 project, and most of their following is on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. You know, these are big numbers. 1 million subs on YouTube is more than probably the daily active users in NFT space right now. I don't know what the actual total is these days.
It's right there. It's the same. It's right
okay. So you know that most of the people that are following them have zero experience with NFTs, and they are potentially onboarding them, which is great. Except they're now asking them to spend, oh my God, quick math is what, 20, 50, almost $800 per NFT as an entrance point. Like this to me, you know, one of the great things that Lemon Friends and Alien Friends captured was that they were kind of new to the NFT space. They had no proven track record, but they had a great product. They created such a strong community around it because people were able to enter in at their first NFT for a very tangible price. And they are so excited to be participating in the success of that project that they don't want to sell. This, you know, would be a great way to onboard people in for $80, you know, for a 0.03 mint and get some excitement around that brand. And all of these people that they followed them on TikTok and Facebook and YouTube go, oh, wow, this NFT space isn't so bad. You know, I didn't break the bank on minting this NFT that I you know, from a company that I really supported. And let's see what else is out there. And like, oh, shit, cool. Beans NFT is going to 0.5. Maybe I can sell one of these. Now, all of a sudden, they have some liquidity that they didn't have to pay for, and they can go start exploring. I think that this is just such a big ask for new people to jump in and start paying those prices.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I mean, I want to say that I don't think 0.02 or 0.03 mints can really work. right now because too many cash grabs started to price in response to them having worked. These were diamonds in the rough. These were a special time, but 0.3 is extreme. I mean, I'll mint something between 0.04 and 0.06 right now. I'll take a chance on that. We're at that part of the cycle. I guess the only other thing,
I do agree with you, but if you're asking new people to come in, you could price it at whatever you want, and you want them to buy. That's my, because they're valuing it in dollar value, right? That's my personal opinion.
I think that this is one of two things here. I think the team, or I should say one of three things. It's either a cash grab, which I actually don't think it is. I don't get the vibe this is some sort of like it's cash grab, right? It's either that, it's a team that has an amazing look, there are teams that know they have an amazing product and are going to price that way and then tell important people about it, show it to them, and then they will get this money. Like, that is how teams that actually have something get the price they want. Or three, they're just inexperienced in the NFT market. I think that's a lot more likely to be the angle here. I don't know who's necessarily advising them, but my gut is that this is one of two things. There's some really great product back here that important people already know about, so that this team knows that they can get 0.3 already, or maybe they just don't understand how to price and present a project in NFTs. It's a very slick looking website. The art doesn't speak to me. I don't know the team and I don't know their previous game. So I'm a bit in the woods on what I should say about it. My gut impression, you heard it earlier, but it has no bearing because I don't know anything.
I mean, I'm looking at these. They're kind of memey. They've got some variation. Bean and Siaga, like they're playing into some of the funny NFT meme culture. They got the Pharaoh hat. Like, I think that there's lots of stuff that they could do. I'm in agreement with you. Like, it doesn't speak to me tons. I think that this gets very muddled in a profile picture. Maybe without the backgrounds, are probably pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is just somebody advising on them, or they're, maybe they have a little bit of hubris in it, being like, bro, like, we got 1 million subs on YouTube. We're going to sell this thing out. And they probably will. I'm not upset about that, but like, I think that they need to understand who their audience is and play into that, right? Because you have an opportunity to onboard a lot of very loyal people,
because
and loyal people don't sell, right?
When a new person buys an NFT, they look at the price in US dollars, because they have to change those dollars into ETH to buy that NFT. So a new user certainly looks at the price of ETH. Now, that doesn't mean they look at the nominal dollar value, whether ETH is 2,400 or 4. I don't think most people are sophisticated enough to say, I'm going to analyze the ETH chart and wait till it's lower so I can make my buy. 100%. But the point is, if they're trying to attract new users, that new user goes, oh, this is $800. They don't go, oh, this is 0.3. Whereas when you're a small, medium collection trying to become the next elite, you're trying to attract Ethereum collectors. Ethereum collectors don't think in dollar terms. They think in ETH terms. So that's why I always talk about this dichotomy about how nominal dollar value is only a short-term effect when ETH is either rallying or crashing a lot. Ethereum collectors don't care what the nominal dollar value is, and those are the ones that turn small and medium collections into elites. Whereas when you see a collection like this, it's new users that are probably going to be paying that 0.3 if this company can get it. Again, I know nothing here. Well, I guess we'll have to take a look.
No, it's a perfect statement, and I mean, we'll recap and see how it goes. I based on the state of the market, I don't see why this isn't going to just mint out.
What did the cats do? Speaking of states of markets, let me see those big cats.
Oh, yeah. No, 0.5 ETH. I have it pulled up.
Isn't that mint? Weren't they 0.4?
There's so many of that cobble of fucking fake 3D. Oh, not fake.
Who knows
3D,
what these were minted at? Anybody? Someone tell us in the chat if you know.
I mean, I could just
if this thing's only 0.8 above mint, oof. That's fallen below mint on reveal. I'm sorry.
Wow, this person paid 0.07 in gas, and
for fuck's sake, 0.07 in gas. Well, yeah, yesterday gas was terrible. If you were,
it was terrible.
That's another sign of a team that gives three shits about
0.44. Yeah, this was 0.44 and almost 0.08 in gas. This is below mint price. I'm just saying, you know what? We've had a lot of talk about this. I made a post about this on Twitter because I kept seeing these fucking things pop up. Big Cats. I pointed this out again. Big Cats is the same shit as Prime Apes, Prime Kongs. What were the other ones that I had there? There's a penguin one. There's Crypto Kitties, which is like a mob boss looking cat one. There's a goat one now, Crypto Goats. There's an eagle one, and also this Women of Crypto one that I have pulled up here. It's the same shit. It's the same eyes. They have that hazy black background. They all have the same sort of intro video. This is just 5 people sitting in a room laughing as the NFT market hands them tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. And I think it's a shame, but if Big Cats is any kind of indication of what's going on here, starting to reject it a little bit. This is not the same kind of cook. Oh, these not even mint out. Maybe it's their pre-sale. I'm maybe a little bit behind on it.
Yeah, but the pre-sale should be sitting comfortably. If there was demand,
should be yeah. All Stars Club. This is a rabbit one. Look, it's the same shit. It's the same eyes in this black background with the kind of the haze to give it a little bit of an illumination.
I probably wouldn't tank that one in the dark alley.
Hand drawn 3D pictures. I don't know what that means. Hand drawn.
That one's easier on the eyes than most of them. I always like just
look. Singularly, a couple of these projects actually would have been pretty good. When we first saw the Prime Ape Planet go down, I didn't hate them. But it's this reiteration, this constant reiteration. And, Women of Crypto already have it outlined that Men of Crypto are coming. Like, how much money are we just going to give these people? I don't get it. So I'm not bullish in this in the least. I mean, hey, look, if you're trading and you're profiting off this, I mean, enjoy it while it lasts. The market has to stop. If the market doesn't start rejecting this, we're fucked. I mean, honestly.
And I was going to say, Elaine, you're welcome, but don't thank us yet. We don't know. I mean, in this market, you just don't know. I remember Prime Apes started rallying after it. Or no, it was pre-reveal that it started
Prime Apes rallied.
Okay.
Look, again, I don't want anyone to miss out on profits when we say this is all shit. But what we're talking about is the overarching idea that this is just probably 5 people saying Marvel artist, Disney artist, this artist worked on The Simpsons, this person, blah, blah, blah. There's no names behind these. And they're lying. They probably live in a country where there's just no repercussions for any of this. And they're just extracting. Now, that being said, can you mint All Stars Club and maybe turn a profit? Like, probably, maybe. I'm just pointing out the fact that this is going on. And it will start to, the market gets smarter. Sorry to cut you off. The market gets smarter and starts to reject this shit. It does. It doesn't last forever.
A big part of our job is trying to figure out what's a trade versus an investment. So when we do this kind of high level analysis on the project and team, that's what we're getting at. The mechanics of whether something is a trade is always a completely different discussion. And that's why we say, if you're on the whitelist for these things. Now, this was a particular case where we really felt like you shouldn't pay 0.4, even if you're on the whitelist. And, forgive us if it does rally to 2 ETH. But if you're on a whitelist and like it's crypto bets and you see them, trading at 1.4, and you get to mint for 0.08, just because R2 and I said it was priced wrong and they messed up the launch, that doesn't mean you don't take the free money. We're just...
I'm going to just do a little bit of detective work here. And you're right.
Ooh,
but
he likes it. I love this.
I just saw somebody saying, but this is like quick impressions of like live, just like, what do you think about this? Or what are you looking at?
Yeah.
James said, making me nervous about my Lucky Lions mint tomorrow. The team is all fully doxxed. Okay. How doxxed are they? Like, how much do you actually know about these people? Because again, I haven't even seen this one and it's the same shit, right? Like, we're talking about it. That's smoky. It is the exact same background and the exact same eyes. They're just reskinning these over and over and over again. And it doesn't mean that this particular one doesn't look good. If this was just a standalone project, and so like, this actually kind of looks good to me. I'm going to be honest with you, but it's this idea.
Doxed?
So This is a docs team crafted by award-winning 3D artist Joel Bastard. Okay, let's see who Joel Bastard is. 1,000 followers, joined November 2021 on Twitter. Okay, he's the founder of Bridge 4 Studios. What's Bridge 4 Studios? A boutique NFT studio coming soon. Previous clients, Netflix. It's a studio that's coming soon, but previous clients are Netflix, Amazon Studios, Rick and Morty. Joined January 2022. Not followed by anybody that I'm following. Like, I follow a lot of people in the NFT world. Like, what is this? What is doxed? Who is Joel Best? I don't. Joel Best Art. He just joined NFT. I don't know who that is.
I am going to get fired up.
Random picture of anybody on the internet, throw it up there and just wait for it to get taken down. It doesn't mean anything. And I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't burst your bubble. Now, if you can point me to a video where all of these guys are on a YouTube channel, like what we're doing right now, talking about their project, and, you know, they live in the United States and there's repercussions for this shit, like, go right ahead. But all of these Twitter profiles have been made in the last 2 months, and it doesn't mean a goddamn thing.
This is the stupidest fucking saying that permeates our entire industry. Are they doxed? Is it a doxed team? What the fuck does doxed matter? Doxed doesn't mean anything. What is someone's name? What are you going to do if they rug? Tell me what you're going to fucking do to this person, because you know his name. If they rug, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to do fucking anything, okay? Now listen. Dox doesn't mean shit, but reputation does. I care much more about whether somebody has 9 years of Twitter history, a reputation, a job, you know, they care about NFTs. That's something to lose. That's actually something to lose. Look at Fishy Fam. That's a fucking scam through and through, and they're completely doxed. All the teams that are completely doxed have an easier out because they can say, whoops, we tried, we're doxed. Dox is an excuse to fail. It's fucking stupid. And we were talking about it on the Lemon Spaces. It was killing me. Every inexperienced person in this industry comes up and says, here's the team doxed. The team has to be doxed. You're a fucking moron. That has nothing to do with it. Dox teams rug all the time. They're rugging as we speak. Look at Wes Mosley. Look at Fishy Fam. It's literally an indication the team is gonna rug. I prefer an anonymous team. It's fucking stupid.
I wouldn't say an anonymous team, but a pseudonymous team where there's a level of trust, like you said, where there is a reputation that's been built and needs to be protected because the upside of that reputation is important, right? Like, you know, I literally quit my job to join Alpha Mint full time on to join up with people named Drip Cult, NVO, and Scott's Co. And now I've talked to them, but, you know, never personally met them in person and whatnot. And like, I didn't ask for their address. I didn't, you know, ask for proof that these are real people behind the scenes and, you know, where they are and, you know, how do I could trust you? I know that I can trust them because I've developed a relationship with them. And I know that they're trying to build something where the reward is greater than just exiting right now. Right? Sure. We could have sold a whole bunch of Alpha Mint passes. It's in the wallet. Boom. Fucking close the Discord. See you later. But what is the point of that? Right? We've spent time and energy building up these pseudonymous profiles so that we can achieve something that's greater and that reputation carries forward. Go listen to Balaji talk about this. He talks about this for 2 hours at a time on any podcast and any, you know, vlog or anything that will listen to him for that long. The guy's a fucking genius. And this is all he says. The pseudonymous economy already exists. You can go and work for a company anywhere in the world remotely now, because that is the state of the union, right? And it all relies on trust. So I don't care if your name is Adam Williamson or, you know, NFT fucker 69420XX, as long as I have a long-standing reputation in history of trust with you, where I can verify on the blockchain that you've always acted within good faith, you know, that is a reputation that you can build and grow and continue on, right? So doxing is such a fascinating idea, and I understand and respect when people want to dox themselves and say, "Hey, come out! Like we're a real people behind this."
As
free market said, like it's not the end all be all. He's saying it's a red flag, and like no, I agree, because you can use that to leverage the idea that you can sell it out. Oh, the team's docs, you know. I personally don't think it's a red flag, but I also don't think it's this giant green flag that says, yeah, you're safe to go, because
that's like, why it's
down
Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I get it. I totally get what you're saying.
This is why it's a red flag. It is it's misdirection. It's what magicians do on stage. This does not have any bearing on whether an NFT project is well thought out. It doesn't have any bearing on whether an NFT project is going to succeed. It's just an excuse for the team to go, well, we fucking tried. We're doxxed, aren't we? The rugs in this industry are not from anonymous teams. This is a fucking misinformation that's permeated by everyone. Yeah. That's not what the docs are from. Okay? That's not what the rugs are from. They are from teams that fail on purpose. This is what the fucking plague on our industry is, and they love this misdirection. They love being doxxed. It's such a fucking scam.
So you said a really interesting point. What are you going to do with that information? Are you going to go hunt them down or whatever? But yeah, exactly. And this is the next interesting topic that we had. And somebody mentioned it earlier in the show, was Cat Bricks. Okay. This is a project that rugged. There's no confirmation that I can find from Cool Cats. And in fact, there's screenshots of mods saying Cool Cats didn't have anything to do with pulling their IP down. This was a project that, like Free Market says, failed on purpose. I think they had this very grandiose roadmap. The thing minted out and they're like, yeah, we don't know what to do now. So, Cool Cats is taking us down, blah, 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 blah. Now, there were, as I mentioned on the show, there was one poor mod and a community helper that was upgraded to executive. Oh, you're part of the team. We love you. And they fucking rugged him too. And this poor guy is left trying to figure out what's going on and how he can make things right for the community. He's doxed himself earlier while half the team wasn't. There's another member of the team that's trying to help him out and say, like, look, guys, like, they left on me too. We're trying to pick up the ashes. And, there's people out there that are trying to actively track them down on Twitter. Like, this person is like, I'm trying to help you out. I make it right. Like, I got rugged too. And like, what are you going to do if you find out where they live? Are you going to hop in your car and with a baseball bat and go down and beat the shit out? Like,
this is why I fucking hate traders sometimes. Listen. You want risk-free
though. Like this, I've been rugged plenty of times. You fucking deal with it. You get these upsized rewards. You want to make 10x, 20x, 100x on your money. You're going to have to deal with the fact that sometimes it goes to zero. And maybe sometimes that's intentionally and you had the wool pull over your eyes. It's fine. It happens. But that reward only exists because of the risk that also exists with it. You just have to deal with it and move ahead.
Yeah. This is why I fucking hate traders. They want risk-free trading. You fucking want your money back, you pathetic worm. Get the fuck out of here. Deal with the this is part of the business. It's so maddening to me.
I mean, I get the deep-seated desire when somebody wrongs you to
No, I can't. It's immature. This is fucking incel Reddit bullshit. It's immature incel Reddit bullshit. Anyone claiming they want to go after one of these fucking teams, you're morons. Yeah, I'm going to be plain about it. This is not mincing words. I'm not going to be nice here.
No, you don't have to be. What are you going to do with that information? Anyways, Cool Bricks is... Cat Bricks is turning into a really interesting story now. I'm going to blow this up a little bit bigger because the remaining team has, tried to rally the community behind this. And this is a thing that you've mentioned on a couple of shows in a row. Sure, rugs happen, teams leave or whatever. But once the NFTs are in the hands of the community, it is now a community project. And I'm not saying that this is like a buy signal for Cat Bricks, please. Like, I have some of them and I hope something happens with it. I'm not going up and loading up on more of these. But they have appointed a new project leader. The community has. They've set up the new CBC Cool Cat Bricks Clubhouse. Fucking name is terrible, by the way. Treasury wallet. And apparently behind the scenes, they're working with the old team to transfer the assets in the community wallet over. Now, whether or not that happens, I'm not sure. But people are kind of banding together here and making this a community project and a community-led project. And maybe there's some thoughts of a DAO. They've appointed a new leader here. And I'm starting to find this a little bit interesting. And again, I'm not going to sit here and talk about it and stare at it all day, every day, hoping that these things pick back up. But as of yesterday, when we were talking about it on the show, these things were at basically zero as people were looking to just get the fucking them out of their wallet for any price that they can. And all of a sudden the volume started to pick up on some of this news, and they were like, last time I checked, at about a 0.02 floor, which actually wasn't much lower than it was before the team had kind of rugged it. Now there's definitely some sell pressure going on here as the volume spikes up, but we all love a comeback story. We all love triumph in overcoming a shitty situation. And I'm wondering if maybe there's some overtones in this. Do you see this as something about that narrative that you created, or not the narrative you created? No. Sorry, the narrative that you love of like it's a community project now. Do you think there's any hope for this?
No, I'll give you a simple answer. The art is bad. I'm not buying anymore. It's lazy and bad art. This was an ill-conceived project. I'm sorry I bought any.
All right. No, I mean, I'm finding it to be a fascinating story, if nothing else. Like in my heart of hearts, I've already accepted that my investment
we got some wrong.
Is gone.
This is wrong. Yeah. This is bad art, period. Art matters, regardless of what people will tell you.
I was very disappointed in the 3 trait structure that they had. It's literally just face, hat, and body. Yeah, they missed the mark. There's a lot of potential in this. What's that?
I think there's a lot of potential in the concept. I would hope, my greatest hope, and boy, am I going to tell this to Bex, is that they should be in talks with Lego right now, because I would ape the shit out of a Cool Cats Lego collection. Boy. Oof, could you imagine that rainbow hair trait? I would just be, I'd have those on my desk.
Yeah, for sure. Hermano is asking like a revival. Is it possible? I mean, we kind of already touched on that. I know FMC is going to say no. I'm going to lean towards no, but with like a asterisk of maybe. You know, people love a cause to rally around, and maybe this rugging has rallied the troops enough. I don't know that it can in the long term. I think that the attention span is very, very short. And maybe this will be a little bit short-lived, but
I never invested in Bloot or anything Beanie ever put out, because Beanie was an obvious confidence man that was evidenced in his actions. When I play poker, I don't see anybody else's cards, but I put together a thesis on what this person is doing and how they're acting. And Beanie being doxxed meant nothing to me. I could have cared less who Beanie was. I knew he was a scammer. I knew he was a confidence man, and I knew it would come out eventually. And that's always what happens with all these teams. And that's going to happen with Fishy Fam.
Yeah, Fishy Fam. I've been enjoying not looking at that project. It helps me sleep very well at night. Anyways, very interesting turn of events for Caprix nonetheless. And somebody actually mentioned Fud Farm might be on that trajectory as well. And I actually reached out to one of the people left in that project just to try and see if there was some context, and a very fascinating announcement was written in there too. I highly doubt most people are even aware what Fud Farm is right now, but it was a interesting story. Let's talk about some stuff that's going on today, if we have anything left. Generative Dungeon. Actually, while I'm doing this, FMC, have you seen Generative Dungeon?
I haven't. Tell me about it. Look cool.
I will tell you about it. It kind of reminded me of some form of legend maps, although I'm sure you would love lemon maps.
Lemon.
Let me, while I'm doing this, I'm going to post the restream link into the AM show chat if anyone wants to hop up. Also, just want to shout out everyone that joined us on the Alphaman after show that we kind of said we were going to do in the town hall meeting. That was a great discussion, and it kind of organically grew over a couple of hours. And some of the stuff that you guys were talking about in there was as good as any Twitter Spaces I've ever heard. So shout out to that. I'm looking forward to jumping in there after as well and getting that going again, because it was a lot of fun. I threw my earbuds in. I took the dog for a walk, and I was listening to In Business kind of shepherd the community, and he was doing a great job as a host. I think I see something else in your future there, my friend. Anyways, the link is in there. Cass has already jumped in. We're going to bring him on stage very shortly. Whitelist mint for generative dungeons is going down in about 5 hours. I believe the mint price is 0.2 for 3,000 of these. I will double check. It's 0.1, one for wallet, and there's 3,000 of these. That was just updated. And it actually looks kind of cool. It's I don't know how much of a cook this is going to be, and it might be, but one of the cool things about this is it's a generative dungeon, and you can actually go onto OpenSea and play this. If you click on it and let it load, click to begin. Like, oh, I got to click to begin. I didn't even follow. There's volume on it. There's sound. And you like, I'm in OpenSea playing this, controlling it in real time. And like, I have no idea how deep. Oh my God, I'm getting killed. This is a fucking dragon chasing me. Whatever. I died. That's kind of cool. No?
I think that's very cool. I just, we had seen a few NFTs that you could actually play the game on OpenSea within the NFT preview, essentially. Like you could click on it and start playing these games. I thought this was a very cool idea. I think these are a very early iteration of what's to come. I know we talk about hardware, and we talk about how all of these on-chain games are essentially passive or idle right now, and I'm sure very soon we're going to have some marriage of these along with amazing hardware that goes with it. I think these will be very cool historic artifacts in the future.
Yeah, I think this is going to be something like, getting in on the owning a copy of the original Zelda game on Nintendo Unboxed or something like that, right? Like, there's going to be some history on this, and I mean, it just popped up in the dojo. I took a look at it and I saw it on Daily Drops. Very very cool shit. So 3,000 of those, 0.1 price. I believe it is all totally pre-saled, but if anything goes to the public sale, I might try and snag one of these regardless of the price, or maybe even just watch the secondary and see, if there's some palatable entrance prices in there, and just put it in the wallet. Sorry, my God, for a long hold, right? I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and play these games all day personally, but it is cool, and they are doing something pretty interesting.
Yeah, no question. Looks pretty dope.
Yes, sir. So that is going down today. What else? We talked about beans. We talked about the 3D shit. Zipsies. Holy shit, man. Zipsies has gone absolutely crazy for ETH.
Weren't they higher? I thought they've cooled off. I thought they were up to 5.
Was it?
Now I'm unimpressed. Yeah, they're dead. They're over.
It's over. Pranksy just bought a minute ago. Look, live on the show. Whale watching. Pranksy buying Zipsies. There you go.
Yep. No, they're over. Waifu anime meta. It'll have a small bull trap here where it bounces a bit, but these are all ridiculous.
Did somebody just say lemon? Yes, we say lemon.
Yes,
quite frequently.
Yeah, I say lemon a lot. You know why? Because lemon.
I'm just going to point out every single show you are part of a cult in a group chat where you guys just say lemon, and somehow there's an actual conversation going on.
Yeah. Oh, no. There's you got to understand, though, is there really much more to life than lemon? Think about all the stupid fucked words that come out of one's mouth on a daily basis. And like when you're laying there in bed and look back on the day, did 99% of them need to be said? Well, you know what? When I do that every night, I realize my most important words that day, lemon.
Lemon. Illidan is saying the Zipsy dev is a head at Coinbase, so I guess that is
they're going to zero. No, I'm kidding. I don't own any, and I just saw In Business bought one, so I couldn't help
all or nothing.
I'm dying to get In Business to sell this thing for a loss and go ape the milk LP. So I'm looking out for my bro.
Say the absurdity of like the conversations that we have. Sell this and ape the milk liquidity pool. What a time to be alive. This
absurd, is my favorite timeline. Or exactly how nature intended it.
Welcome to the metaverse, my friends. Here we are, and it is glorious. Also, a couple things that I'm hyped on. First of all, I gotta get in there and find this. Look at this. One of the dojo members brewing coffee on their in their Alpha Mint one. Oh, maybe need to clean this a little bit there, but looking good. On the show, I'm calling you out. No, man, do you know how many times I've brewed coffee without actually having the cup under it and dropping that ball? But
classic move.
I need to get an Alpha Mint mug. I just have this giant one. I need lots of coffee. That's my problem. Hype Bears minted yesterday. We talked about that a little bit. Actually doing pretty successful. 0.4 drop, which again I thought was absurdly high, but it's so easy for these promos and websites to look really flashy and good, but like some of the previews that I saw of them leave something to be desired. That being said, it is sitting pre-reveal at about 1.5 ETH. So if you got in on that and you are exiting or holding, and then seems to be something right now. So good on you. Floozy was another. Oh yeah, go ahead.
This guy could buy 40 Begons. He buys a Zipsy and a Hype Bear. I gotta talk. We gotta have a talk here. Oh no, a Gucci Hype Bear. I don't even know what he bought. This guy could have bought 50 Begons. Got that floor move. That one sweep would have taken us to Valhalla. He decides to get a Zipsy.
I have a 5. Don't leave me alone. I'm sorry, man. The cup looks great. Don't get me wrong. 1 or 2 more cooks that I will be a lemon. Watching this show morph me. I'll drink the lemonade.
Can I tell you something, Kyle? You know you're a lemon to me anyway, and you're always welcome in the lemon spaces and lemon Discord. We love everybody who is a lemon, whether they own a lemon or not. You are a lemon, Kyle, and we appreciate you wanting to join.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty inclusive group of people for sure.
We are.
Ooh, all right. What else do we got here? Let's start wrapping it up. Flu's World minted yesterday for the public sale. It was a 0.1 mint, and it's just I think coming down from the Azuki high, kind of gets some vibes here.
It's a bad copy of Cocotti art. That's what I'm seeing here. It's some poor derivative of Cocotti.
You know what? Like,
good try, but
I'm looking at these scroll by. There's enough. If this is like the majority of the collection, there's enough variety here that I'm feeling it. I'm not opposed to this. 0.1 is at this point pretty reasonable mint price too. It wasn't like they priced these at 0.5 and tried to mint out.
Okay, I'll oppose it for you.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just kidding. No, I have nothing. I don't know anything about it. I saw the word being typed a lot yesterday, and I decided the word was stupid, and I'm not going to look up what it is. Everyone kept talking about floozes. I was like, nope, not even going to Google it. Nope, I'm out.
Forever the contrarian. I don't know. These haven't revealed yet, but they are sitting, just under 0.7. Some pretty serious volume traded over since they started minting too. So I'm not buying one, but I don't dislike them. It's my own take. So Flooz is out there for you, and congrats to anybody that got in on that. I believe it was quite a gas war yesterday. If somebody can point me in the right direction. Timepieces. Let's just talk about this real quick. Oh, that's the Discord link. We are actually interviewing doing an interview with Timepieces this afternoon.
Yes, guys. So tune into that 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. We are going to be doing an interview with the crew from Timepieces. So their Genesis drop was quite the event last year. It was one of the lowest gas, highly optimized contracts we had seen at the time, launching into the summer of big mints and expensive gas and all this stuff. And boy, was it a cook, quickly running above 3.5 ETH. I think they got up to 4 or 5.
I think it was 5.
Yeah. They've certainly cooled down. But you have to understand what Time is doing here. Now, first of all, they work with a bunch of both famous artists and NFT collections. I'm very excited for the Cool Cats themed ones. We're going to see Vinny Hager of Letters fame. If you guys don't know that collection, it's one of my favorite out there. Vinny Hager is doing a piece for them. And also there will be a Beeple in here, some very limited edition Beeple. So why do these things cook to such a high price.
It's because
sure. It's because of the chance to get some of these very, very rare pieces from very well-known artists. I mean, you snag a Beeple from this, you're looking at a good 50 or 100 ETH here. So people are very pumped for this drop. Time is by far the most Web3 facing entity in all of media, in all of traditional media. This is what I would argue is practically a Web3 company at this point. Time has talked about it a bit publicly, but I suspect their grand overarching plans are to be the conduit for licensing deals across the entire NFT complex. We know that they're doing a children's either series or book with toy boogers. If you go look at their job listings, they're looking for people right now who can write children's books. They're looking for people right now who are involved in NFTs. And I think that the time drops have been nothing short of spectacular as far as both their execution and the art. And I am so looking forward to that conversation this afternoon. So please tune in. And if you are in the Moon Lounge, please go enter the raffle. If you are a Moon Lounge member or a priority pass holder, please go enter the raffle for those allow list spots, which are live right now in the Degen Dojo.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I mean, Time is one of the most recognizable media entities in the world. It's still, I think, a relatively big deal to be on the Times Person of the Year list and all of that stuff. Some of these were really great. I think some of them on the initial drop were a little bit of a miss. I mean, somebody minted these, and it was literally just a pixel. It is what it is.
A handsome pixel.
Yeah, great looking pixel there, but I thought that was a little bit of a miss, and somebody should have said maybe do something else. But I digress. It's going to be a great conversation. Keith Grossman is a fan of Ghost's work, and anybody that Ghost's work is all right by me. But he's a bit of a NFT degen himself. You'll see him aping into projects and selling stuff and trading and participating. So, somebody that is active in that space and not just buying them for ceremonial reasons is got to be probably leading their company in a good direction if they're participating in NFTs. So it's going to be a great drop, and please tune in. And that's 3 p.m. correct
3 p.m. Eastern Standard today.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Let's turn some music on here and invite Cass up onto the stage. Say GM to you, my friend. How are you doing? Maybe I caught him off guard.
GM, Sir Cass, how are you?
GM, how are you guys?
I'm great, man.
First thing I've got to say thank you to you guys.
You're welcome.
Yeah, just thank you.
For what? Sorry, I appreciate that, but
no, it's okay. You can say you're welcome. You might not have done nothing. I might have done something. It was the whole because obviously I believe that you guys, came to a decision of naming 25 people for Star Wars, and my name was brought on there. So I really appreciate that, and I wanted to say thank you more than anything.
Well, I mean, it was 25 people that are, been kind of just discussed as exemplary members of the community and represented Star Wolves and stuff like that. I don't know about FMC, but I was around when the list was being discussed, but I didn't honestly have any input. This was all just taken from people that were, monitoring the Star Wolves Discord.
No, I still thank you, though, man. You didn't have to.
Of course. You are a Star Wolf, so we need to get you fitted up. I mean, you are one. You are us. We love you.
Stop that, man, because you're gonna make me cry on fucking stage. And
really.
Seriously, once when I saw it yesterday, tears were rolling down my eyes. I can't even mind.
You're gonna make me cry, man. Come on, not like this.
No, I'll stay manly for all of us.
Well, you're always crying. We just can't see you.
I am always crying. I cry a lot. If I talk about
hit a 0.1 floor for the first time and you wept.
I did. Okay, I cried during Lemons, and we were talking about Stu Unger the other day. I almost started choking up. I can't. It's hard for me to talk about Stu Unger.
Sad story.
It happens.
Yeah.
Going back to what you guys were saying, have you guys heard of someone called Who's the Boss? He's a YouTube influencer who normally looks
Is
after.
that Tony Danza?
No, he's got
back
like,
in the day.
He's got 10 million followers. I mean, his last video, which was posted out 24 hours ago, has already hit 1 million views. But where he normally looks out for like tech and phones and stuff like that, he decided to talk about NFTs, which I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting. Let's see what he's got to say about it. And after listening to him, although I do respect his views in regards of tech and mobile phones and what's going on and blah, 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 listening to him made me really realize that not many people are going to quite understand this NFT space, because I don't think he got it. He was baffled how likes of Lazy Lions and Bored Ape Yacht Club were historically amazing figures, and why it's only a JPEG and it's nothing else, and it doesn't do much, and it doesn't do this, and it's just a JPEG. Cut a long story short, that's what he was running along with. And it just makes me very bullish hearing someone of that stature with that amount of numbers to talk to that is not getting what potentially the NFT space could potentially be. Well, and what it also brings as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun hot take narrative that gets people riled up on both sides of the fence, right? For sure, you're gonna have NFT crowd coming in there, and like, you know, engagement does sell. It's fun, you know. You pick your stance and you talk about things affirmatively and definitively, and you know, that's enjoyable, right? I want to go back to like one of the Twitter spaces that Cool Man's Universe held with Cool Man Coffee Dan, and he was talking about it, and I asked him about, like, you know, what his experience has been with his Instagram following and, you know, notoriously hostile environment and what it's going to take, and he just, you know, he gave a great answer, and it was just, you know, honest, good quality work, grinding day in, day out, and just slowly, you know, slowly catching 1 or 2 people in at a time, and then, you know, that eventually transitions into 4 or 5 people at a time, then it's 9 or 10 people at a time, and that ball will continue to roll. And, you know, a lot of it is just everyone, you know, wants to be part of a cool social setting, right? And eventually a couple of, you know, a group of friends, you know, one of them's going to get into NFTs and they're going to be like, oh, you know, you're buying those, and then another one's going to do it. Now there's 2 of them, and they're like, oh, okay, and then that adoption starts to happen, and all of a sudden, you know, 3 or 4 of that friend group has some NFTs, and the other 5 or 10 of them go like, oh, now I got to get in, right? It's that that YouTube video where the guy breaks down the dancing rave guy in the crowd, where he's on this hill by himself dancing and just going to town, and everybody else is staring at him, and then finally one other person gets up and starts dancing with them, and they're having fun, and then all of a sudden, once that second person started doing it, that third and fourth people are like, fuck it, I'll dance too. And then next thing you know, the entire crowd is dancing, right? And that's how it starts. It's that little ripple that turns into a big wave.
100%.
You know, but, you know, the fact that he's talking about it has a lot of subscribers and a lot of views on it. Again, I guess just
it's a good thing. It's a good thing because it again opens the rabbit hole, so to say. So if people are interested, that's 1 million people that have potentially in the space of 24 hours.
Well, let's look at what 0.01% of 1 million people is, and that's, you know, 1,000 people, right?
That's a Discord.
Yeah. I mean, you know, 1,000 people that might pony up, you know, $500 each, $500,000 enters the ecosystem and starts floating around, right? And that's just that one instance. It happens for sure.
Yeah, 100. And another thing as well, what is your thoughts on Chibi Labs or Chibi Apes and Chibi Guardians and Galaxies and so on and so forth? What's your thoughts on them partnering up with Verizon?
I actually don't know. I saw you mention it earlier on in the show, but I don't have a lot of context. What does the partnership entail? Like, what is Verizon's angle on this?
I think Verizon's angle is they're going to be giving chibi galaxies away over the Valentine's period for V-Day, so to say. So they've collabed with Chibi Apes to give to their members their first NFTs, which will be Chibi Guardians. But they've used their social media, Verizon social media platform to promote it. Also,
yeah, I don't have a lot of comment on that. I don't know if Free Market wants to jump in there. I know Verizon's a I'm gonna company.
They are. I'm gonna go check it out. I want to do a little research before I comment too much on it.
Okay, because a couple of months ago I was on the phone with Spotter, who's one of the founders there, and he literally just got off. This is 2 months ago, by the way. I remember when I was speaking to him, he said to me, I just got off the phone to Coinbase. And I was like, really? And he was like, what, positive or negative? And he was like, it's looking good, but I don't want to say nothing yet. So my thought process was, well, okay then. So if you manage to kind of partner with Verizon, that just opens the doors for Coinbase even more, I would say.
Definitely. That's a good take.
So yeah, I can see, and the price has gone up. I mean, the price on the Chibi Galaxies was 0.05 at one point, and now it's sitting at 0.23, I think. So it's a 4x of where it was.
Yeah, I'm seeing the Apes. They're at what, 0.3 right now? Is that right? Am I looking at the right project? Chibi Apes.
Yeah, there's Chibi Apes, but then there's Chibi Guardians or Galaxies, which is
the Galaxies. Yeah, I'll just pull it up on screen here. I think I'm looking at the right one.
Yeah, so that's Chibi Apes. That was the Gen 2. Mm-hmm. The Gen 1 was selling at 5 ETH a few days ago. Okay. And these were the Gen 3s.
Interesting. Definitely seen these around, but I've spent a grand total of about 0 minutes looking into them, if I'm being honest with you. Not for any other reason other than there's just so much stuff going on.
They're cute. They're unique. They're not bad.
Yeah, they're all right, man. Like, I think they were the first 3D-ish with artifacts to kind of come out with a 3D PFP, or one of the few that kind of,
Oh, these are older too, September, eh?
Yeah. So what happened with them was when they released their first lot, it was more or less like a failed project. But Fabs, who was the artist, he only was able to sell about 100 of them. So then H Bizzle and Spotter kind of teamed up together to kind of release the second version, or the Gen 2, which is Chibi Apes. That did okay, but then I think with the hype of everyone else coming in with tokens and DAOs and blah 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 blah, they got put to the side for a bit. So even when they released their Gen 3, it was still not selling, or not selling as well as it should have. But they've worked hard. They've got a lot of space on Sandbox. So yeah, something to look out for.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it's the one thing about partnerships with large companies is that other large companies feel a lot more comfortable doing so, right? Starts to be a trust factor in there. So if Verizon's kind of in, and is Coinbase a little more accepting of a project, and yada yada yada, and these relationships being formed should be taken as bullish, regardless of whether or not you like Verizon or you think it does anything for their brand. There is a seal of approval, and they've definitely gone through the corporate approval process, I guess. That would be my initial reaction.
Yes, 100%. And the one other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I actually loved the conversation with you two guys had about it, the whole doxing thing.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
I'd have to agree with FMC on that. Doxing means shit, because unless you see someone face to face, that's the only way I can imagine doxing someone.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify too. I'm not against doxing. It's not that doxing is bad. It's the way that it gives people some sort of false comfort or false security that now the team can't rug, or now the team is upstanding. Quite the opposite, as we have seen over and over again. The danger in this business is not from the anonymous teams that rug and disappear. That's a straw man. It sounds scary. It's some secret cabal in a foreign country and under black cloak. Of course, that's the story that sells, but it's fucking nonsense. And it's costing people money because they go out and buy shit like Fishy Fam.
Look, sure. I could sit here and go, you know, guys, I'm just, it's time. Like, I want to dox myself. My name is Kevin Christensen. I was an artist at Fox and worked on Futurama for 4 years. And now I'm launching an NFT project, right? You see my face. I'm saying this stuff. No, it's not me.
No.
I was going to say, well, like,
Cass bought into your routine. You did that too.
But that's my point. Like, I could come up here and like, oh, well, it's a real person saying things. Like, it must be true. Like, no, what the fuck, you know? Like,
no, but a lot of people take that though. I mean, like,
I know,
look, I'm gullible, dude, and I honestly, for a hot second, thought that you done like work with X, Y, and Z and the rest of it. But that's what this space is. And you saying that in a camera with your face open to people that will say, "Oh, he's doxed himself."
Right.
You know, so it doesn't mean fuck all, man.
Yeah,
in my opinion, you know,
I'm a big fan of the pseudonymous economy. I really enjoy the idea. Like, Cass, you to me have a reputation, right? Like, we have a relationship. Yeah. It doesn't matter that I've never seen your face. It doesn't matter that I don't know your last name. It doesn't matter where you live. And none of that would matter if you asked me, or if I said, I need you to hold on to 2 ETH for me for a little bit or whatever, right? Knowing your last name or knowing that, you know, where in the world Cass lives isn't going to put me at peace of mind that I could trust you with it. But our previous relationships and dealings would, right?
Yes. Well,
that's what's important. That's my point. It doesn't mean anything. Look, we did EtherOrcs, the Horde in AlphaMint, and all of these things were sent to one wallet of a trusted community member, and we trusted that person to act on our, on their behalf. I wasn't part of it, but that's because there was a long-standing relationship with them. And nobody was saying, like, I want your phone number and I want a picture of your house.
Don't know their name, don't know their last name, don't know exactly where they live. And I trusted them with $50,000 of my money happily, and I would do it again.
And that was
tomorrow.
just FMC. At its peak, there was probably $500,000 in that wallet or more.
Yep.
But why did he not run away? Because there was a trust factor. There was a relationship. There was things at stake that weren't just, I can run off with $500,000 right now.
But then another thing you got to remember, like, we're talking about AlphaMint in this regard. Like, we've all spent time with each other. We're not like the normal everyday NFT project that doesn't get to know people, gets a bit of hype, takes their money and gone. Yeah, we have built, like, I have known you guys. I was in shock the other day. Since November 4th, 5th, I've known you lot. So it's like 3-4 months now. You know.
Quite frankly, that's why we cut off the passes. We want to keep this community small. We want to keep the signal to noise ratio big, and we have no desire to profit off creating a community that becomes so noisy and unusable that there's nothing real here. People ask us what separates us from other alpha communities, and it may sound corny, but the bond here is important, and the bond here has actually made us money, as evident by the orc horde that R2 just pointed out. So
100. I can't even deny. I can list a bag of fucking projects that we've all talked about that I've made. So there's that. That's the trust, 100%. But again, it's the organic growth that has happened. You guys never went running around saying AlphaMint. You know, I mean, I remember you guys didn't even tell me about AlphaMint. I found AlphaMint through your profiles. That's how I jumped into the AlphaMint server. Because you guys, you liked a comment I made on Star Wars, and when I saw the like,
I don't like to talk about. I don't. There is no need to talk about AlphaMint. AlphaMint is a product that sells itself because of how good it is. I don't go on Lemon Spaces and talk about AlphaMint unless someone asks or I'm prompted. There's quite frankly no reason. We know what we have here. We're not in a hurry, and we're here for the long haul.
No, 100.
Word of mouth is literally the best form of marketing you can get. If you can deliver a project or a product, where people literally have testimony that we've changed their life, or this made an incredible difference in their life, or this was just an incredible experience, they go out and tell people about it, right? And that coming directly from somebody is more powerful than any copy you could write, because it is a honest to God vouch from somebody that you trust.
Yeah, grapevine marketing. This is how marketing was many moons ago, before advertising companies came into play and tried to manipulate certain things with visuals and so on and so forth. The way that you would trust a product or trust anything would be by your next door neighbor, which would be grapevine marketing, you know, and that's something that you guys have shown, which is just phenomenal. And you're the only people in the space, that I know of that will do it down that route. And also, like I've said it many times, but you guys, the team and the rest of it, for what you guys have created, how you've created it, hats off. Yeah, because
I appreciate that. And like, honestly, one of the big things is that, like, I'm thrilled that you feel that way. I'm sure there are other communities where, you know, somebody is saying the same thing that you're saying to us about them, and that's great for them too. And we've also had experiences where, you know, maybe our community wasn't for that person as well. I do believe that we, you know, decided that we wanted to be part of a particular niche, and it wasn't just like pure profit driven alpha community, but it was a community where, you know, you could network and grow and meet great people in that space and whatnot. And that's kind of the niche that we staked out. And you know, hearing stuff like that and the comments and you know, people just talking in Alpha Mint, you know, makes me feel like while the work is not done, there's, you know, we're achieving at least our vision for it.
The way I see it is very simple. Like, from look, you as the founders, let's just say, or part of the team, and me being from the outside trying to get in, you've smacked it, because you've made people have emotions and feelings. You've made people, like, example, I'm not being funny, R2, man. Like, if you said to me, Cass, I'm in London, dude, like, there's a bedroom here in my house waiting for you if you ever come down, same as FMC. And I probably would never have met you, or I haven't met you guys in person. But because of that, and I mean, people I've spoken to in Alpha Mint, they've also said, when I said, I would like to come down to the US, yeah, just come and see us.
Come on over.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a beauty that isn't spoken about so much, about decentralization and this market that we're in, because it's bringing these kind of people with that similar kind of mindset together.
Yeah, you got it, man. Cass, I think we're going to wrap the show up, but like I said, we're going to jump into the voice chat, and so I expect to see you there, my friend.
Yeah, I'll be in there.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No. All I wanted to say, there were a few projects people brought up. There was Beepos, okay, which minted last night to a tragedy in the contract. I don't know exactly what the exploit was, but I know it was one of the big dramas of the night. Those were the Beepos. You had as well. Yeah, and as well, someone brought up Fortune Friends. I actually don't know that collection.
Fortune Friends I can say Fortune Friends is pretty cool. Basically, they're these characters that look like fortune cookies. It's nice. Super cool. And they kind of released their Discord just before Chinese New Year. It's a grind at the moment. I'm not sure if it's invite only or not, but it's cool. It's very active at the moment, but Beepos was really active, and then all of a sudden you went into their voice chat room and figured out that the contract got messed up and everyone can mint, and whitelists were just put to the side, and a massive drama with that. I think the one thing that kind of, we were talking about this in the Moon Lounge, Beepos, and I think one of the reasons we didn't go for it at the time, it looked exactly like the guy from Big Six, the Disney film.
Yes, someone called it.
Yeah. So that was, I think, a reason why we just had cat brick vibes, and we were like, we'll leave this one. But that was the
cat brick vibes.
CBC vibes. Sounds like something else.
Canadian Broadcasting Corporation or Company. Yeah, right. The old CBC. Ella D also brought up Coyote. Yeah, I mean, we like the Coyote. We worked with them, and interviewed them and whatnot. The game is still a little bit out on the horizon, but they have some demos out for it. The reveal looks like it's going to take a little while. I think it was the 13th or the 14th they said, which is, a bit longer than usual, but not much to talk about today with them. We have brought them up on past episodes though, so I appreciate you bringing that up. Beans NFT dropping in 25 minutes. Yes, for sure. So, the other big topic that the chat was talking about is when FMC face. And I will say that, I love the kaiju anyways, man. Don't worry about it. You do you. Whenever you want to jump on camera, you can.
Well, I have had a Twitter for 10 years for the detectives who are out there, and I'll just leave it at that.
I don't think it was from a doxing thing. I think they just want to see.
I know that's what I meant.
Animation no. when he gets higher, when the voice goes up 8 octaves.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about the doxing thing. I was talking about if somebody wanted to see that, they could probably investigate Twitter.
Oh, there you go. It's out there in public. There, we're in. All right, Cass, I'm gonna kick you off the stage, and we're gonna wrap this up. But I appreciate you coming up here as always. Cool. Yes, of course, this show is going to be recorded on YouTube and Spotify. If you missed anything, it was a little bit of a news-oriented show. We talked a lot about the Facebook Meta kind of dump and what's going on with that. GameStop doing some stuff. PixlPets, Cool Pets were delayed. Raid Party should be going down today. I think we're A-okay on that. I'll double check the alerts after the show. Shout out to Zark, though. He was in the audience again. We appreciate it. And, good luck with everything today.
I feel your pain, Zark. He was telling us he held those timepiece.
Oh, is that what it was about? Yeah.
Yeah, down from 3 to where they are right now. I know we had some DJ Dojo members doing the same thing. I'll tell you this. Old Uncle Free is a historian here, and I do believe long-term those will do well for you, Zark. So, yeah, a bit of a pullback here, but I love time, and I love the timepieces long-term. So you hold on to that history. I think it'll do well for you.
Yeah, come check out the interview with the time later on today. It's going to be exciting. So yeah, as I said, thank you so much. 50 people listening towards the end of the show. You love to see it. If any of you are new, please feel free to hit the subscribe and like button. It does help us out. If not, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. We do this show every morning, 9:30 a.m. Sorry, every weekday morning. Please can't do it 7 days a week. 9:30 a.m. We run till about 11:30 a.m. We appreciate all of the familiar faces that showed up today. Free Market, get us out of here.
Good luck at the tables, DJ.